Good morning and happy Saturday, you guys. It is Amanda and Barron with Kickin Cancer Cares on KSLM Radio, 104.3 FM and 1220 AM. Our sponsor for this first half is Oddmo's Pizza. Absolutely amazing, especially for this type of weather. So if you're looking for something that's easy, quick, and yummy, they've got amazing salads, and then their pizzas are just to die for with all the good veggies and all the good things. You can just go pick it up or you can have it delivered.
And if you don't want to heat your house up, just let them bring it to you.
Yeah.
Or go pick it up from them.
Yeah, easy peasy. And so delicious and good for you with all those fresh ingredients.
Well,
don't forget your potato poppers.
Oh, but yeah, your favorite.
I need to get an order of those, like today.
Get them ready to go.
Yes, yes.
Well, a lot of the ingredients that are on top of that is going to play into our discussion today. And I thought we'd let the listeners know right off the bat. We've got a guest back with us. Mike Lowery was with us about a year and a half ago.
Yes.
Something like that. Mike and I have had a lot of interesting conversations about vegetables and GMO and what does GMO mean? How does all that play into meat? And so I thought we could have a good conversation about GMO and what exactly that means to your world.
Yeah.
So
let's do it. Because little secret, I'm not really sure exactly what it means myself.
Well, hopefully we're more educated when we get done.
It's not good, right?
Let's learn together. Well, there's like everything. There's pros and cons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
but our recap from last week was actually just you and me having a wonderful conversation. A book that I got early on was called the Anti-Cancer Living Book. And so we went through these different core values that Kickin Cancer has and how each of them have come from that book and how we've been able to implement that with the organization. And so it was just a wonderful conversation.
It was. It was nice to just go back and recap a few of our guests and a few of those key points and things to help you and stay healthy and keep moving along and all that stuff.
Kind of a review of previous shows we were able to do last week.
It was a nice refresher.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, I want to bring you a food this week, and this is an interesting one because it will play a little bit in the second half of the show.
Okay.
It's tuna.
Oh.
I love tuna.
You love tuna? Are you a fan of tuna?
No.
No?
I don't eat anything from the sea.
Oh.
No, nothing from the water. How about that?
Nothing from the water?
Nothing from the water.
So no clams,
Fresh or
no tuna,
no.
no clam chowder.
Nothing. I make a really mean potato chowder, though.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
seaweed.
No.
Spirulina.
No.
It's good for you.
No.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you why.
No.
She does not like the water, period.
Gotcha. All right. We're made of
I don't even know how to
90% water. Huh?
I don't know how to swim. I can doggy paddle.
We do the polar plunge, and she's in and out as fast as possible.
It reminds me of yesterday getting my swimmers here and working with the grandkids and swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in and out as fast as possible.
Join us next time.
Okay.
Well, what the magazine says about tuna is fatty fish have heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids.
Okay.
One benefit you don't hear much about, though, is their role in protecting emotional health.
Oh, interesting.
Omega-3 fatty acids are anti-inflammatory. There's a relationship between what you eat and how your brain functions.
Okay.
Tuna also nets you vitamin E, another good mood nutrient. So interesting enough, tuna is actually a pink in color.
Yeah.
But we're so used to seeing like the ones out of the can, which is more white.
Yes.
You know, once you cook that, it's going to become white, but tuna is very red.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So definitely be eating your tuna if you're going to eat food, eat meat, and if you're not going to get it from the sea, then don't talk to a man.
Moving along.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, and I want to repeat our update. Our update is the golf tournament that is going to be on the 28th. Mm-hmm. Elena's a little 8-year-old girl that lives in Independence, has cancer in her jaw. She has rhabdomyosarcoma. And so we do have a golf tournament planned on the 28th of July in Staten. There is still plenty of time to sign a team up. There's still plenty of time to get a whole sponsorship if you'd like to have a whole sponsorship. Mm-hmm. And the net proceeds from that tournament will go to the family.
Okay, perfect.
So that's our update.
Yes, and how can people sign up or find information?
So you can go to, and again, if you are not following our YouTube channel, make sure you go to Kickin Cancer Productions and like and follow our show. There will be a link showing up probably right about now as to how to get to this event. Amanda's showing you where that's at. But it's kicking-cancer.org under events, and there's a link there to the golf tournament.
Perfect.
So
awesome.
Well, we talked about plants, and I thought we'd have a very interesting conversation today about what GMO is. It's a concept we hear a lot about, but we don't understand it really well. And Mike and I have had some great conversations about GMO. So first off, GMO stands for genetically modified organisms.
Organisms,
yeah. So I want to add your thoughts here, Mike. What are the pros, or what are the good, and what is the bad when it comes to GMO?
Without looking at my notes?
Sure. Or throw your notes in there, too.
No. Some of the things that you can get a higher yield, that you can use certain genes to make them more resilient to weather conditions, to certain pests and things like that.
Yeah.
Even things that you could, like the brown apple syndrome, they came up with a gene that makes brown apples so they don't brown.
Okay.
So that turns into a flavor thing, and probably a bit of a shelf life.
Right.
No one wants to eat a brown apple, right?
Right.
We chuck that one.
That's fair.
We pick a good apple.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So things like that. And negatives, we hear about links to degenerative disease. If any, I think Monsanto and their product, glyphosate, is probably the most commonly talked about one.
Right.
And there's, I read that there's a 41% increase in Hodgkin's lymphoma amongst, or it causes a 41% higher incidence of that. And I'm not exactly sure how they
came up with those numbers.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they researched that and determined that. But there's a link.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether that's
Yeah.
just a correlation or an actual.
Well, and one of the things that and again, I'm referencing a book called Think and Eat Yourself Smart. And the person who wrote this book, Dr. Carolyn Leaf, she has a PhD in neuroscience, so she understands how the brain works. She also has a master's in nutrition, and so the book is really talking about food and how that helps your brain function better. Okay, and she mentioned the fact in here that there are two main things that GMOs are used for. One of them is insect resistance. I think Mike, you kind of mentioned that a little bit.
The pesticides.
So if you go back 150 years ago, we're growing crops, we have no control over the insects. And so some of the things that they've done to try to control that is how to get the insect resistance. The other one is herbicides, or the sprays, and then they can become more resistant to other things that are out there for them. So we're trying to modify the foods to get better yield, as Mike mentioned, from those two things specifically. Yeah. And I think the insects is a big one. On the flip side of that, just like most organisms, they can begin to recognize how to resist what we were talking about. And I think, Mike, you got some information on that as well.
I do, and the pest control says many GMO crops have been genetically modified to express a gene that protects them against pests and insects. Are there negatives to that? I don't know. It sounds like a positive on the outset, right? Is there something that happens with the DNA structure changing that hurts us? So far, there's really no proof of it, but that's coming from the FDA and the EPA, a couple of our favorite alphabet gangs. So whether you trust their information or not, that's the source of that. And again, I'm no kind of an expert. I'm just an advocate, right? I consider myself to be a conserva hippie. And so, do you know what a conserva hippie is?
I like, yeah.
I like natural, but I also don't like a lot of regulation. Where's the balance in there? I suppose part of that is responsibility, right?
Yeah.
And trust. But anyway, as far as some of the positives, one of this is a 2020 study that says GMO technology has reduced global chemical pesticide use by 8.3%. Oh. That was 5 years ago. With the increase in organic food, and the definition organic, one of the definitions is no GMO. Mm-hmm. So if you're eating 100% organic, and there's a difference between organic and 100% organic,
right. Which is odd.
It is, but there's different levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, of what they can percentages of non-organic ingredients that you can have in a organic versus
It is
100%
odd that
organic.
either you're organic or not organic.
Right,
So how
it
could you be 100%?
We got black and white, and then we got the gray zone.
Yeah. So if it was 8.3% reduction 5 years ago, maybe it's more now.
Right.
Who knows? Hopefully. And of course, the improved survival and greater yield, that goes to help the farmers, of course. And I love the idea of any business, farm or otherwise, being able to maximize their profits, just not at the expense of our health.
Right. Yes.
And interestingly enough, that as a nation, we become very large farming large farms are consuming the American public.
Yeah.
And we're concentrating now on 3 large scales, predominantly soy, corn, cotton are the big production items. And that's the ones that they wanted to make sure that they became insect resistant and herbicide tolerant. Those are the 2 big terms they're using. But if you've got this massively large farm, how do you get better yield from that? That's something that Mike's talking about inside there.
Well, this is from an article, what is it, from Healthline, and it's asked, is GMO food unhealthy? And it talks about cancer. It says, because DNA mutations cause cancers, some people fear that eating foods with added genes may affect your DNA. The American Cancer Society has stated that there's no evidence to link GMO foods to an increase or decrease in risk of cancer, but no evidence of eating GMOs, or rather that there's no evidence that eating GMOs will change your DNA. Well, we hope not, but if it's changed, I mean, it's what you eat is what you are, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so if it's changed for the better with no negative side effects, great. But probably more studies need to be
Right.
Well, and it does mention that in the book too, that a lot of the problems is who's funding these studies? Who's funding the studies that are being done, and what's the objective outcome from that study? And we don't know from the study.
Right.
Yeah.
So you want to take some of that with a grain of salt when you're listening to these studies that are being done as well.
Yes.
Sure.
So I don't know. I was little, but I remember my mom was a caregiver, and we went out to this dinner a lot with this lady, and she would always say, does this have GMO in it? Because I'm allergic and can't have it. And so I always thought that it's just bad for you, bad. And so what would be can somebody really be allergic? Can it have like actual side effects, or was she just looking out because she just thought it was bad and didn't want it?
Well, she probably didn't want it. She probably thought it was bad, didn't want it.
Right. Okay.
Because GMO is not something you're going to add to food.
Okay.
It just means that the food has been genetically modified of some nature.
Okay.
So she was probably thinking, am I eating food that is a GMO?
Okay.
But I've never seen that you can't put GMO into food. That's not how it works.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I read an interesting tidbit about in areas where beta carotene sources are low, that they've introduced a kind of rice called a golden rice that has been genetically modified to create more beta carotene in those populations that are low in beta carotene will get more beta carotene, which is good for your skin, it's good for your eyes, good for a lot of things. So there's a lot of like everything, it's a double-edged sword, right?
Right.
Technology is a double-edged sword.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
It makes things convenient for us, and it kind of makes us, do this a lot, which probably isn't good for us.
Right.
And,
yes.
and so not only take it with a grain of salt, I think we need to be our own advocates. We need to be our own researchers.
Yeah.
About what we're putting in our bodies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and when you talk about things being genetically modified, there's a phrase that Mike used a little bit ago called be a hybrid, okay? And as we can take 2 different kinds of apples and make a hybrid apple. That's how the honeycrisps come about. That's how the cosmic apples, all of those apples are just a hybrid off from something else.
Right.
I mean, we've done this for a long time. They did it with dogs. We've hybrided dogs, It's not uncommon to do a hybrid when it comes to food. It's not. The question is this being done out of technology and genetically modifying it in a good or a bad way? And that's the big question we want to talk about.
Okay.
Like seedless fruit.
Yeah, seedless
Yeah,
fruit.
yeah.
I'm not sure I'm okay with GMO.
And there's ways of farmers have done it by doing cuttings, and it's taken a long time. It's kind of the same idea. It just isn't the fast track way. The GMO way is the fast track way of getting rid of some of these negative characteristics of our food.
Right.
Where using cuttings and this kind of thing over generations of the food takes a lot longer. But it's probably a healthier way to do it.
Right.
And what's it come down to?
Right.
Always.
Money and convenience.
Sure,
Money
which is the same, really.
I was just going to say, which are two of the same
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Well, and you mentioned Monsanto. There's a big lawsuit that people probably see on TV when it comes to a GMO they did to help kill the grass around swimming pools. And when that seeped into the swimming pools and got in the water, then that became a source of blood cancer.
Oh.
So what are we modifying? What's the objective of what we're modifying? And what's the end result on people? And to some degree, we already know what the end result is on people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think I'm not really okay with GMO.
Well, if you eat 100% organic, you probably don't have to worry too much about it.
Right. I think just anything genetically modified is just, maybe it's just the words that are just kind of scary. And because I am so particular with what I put in my body, I mean, not 100%, obviously. I wish 100% I could, but there are times where I care and sometimes where I don't care. But it just makes me, I guess maybe it just makes me nervous, the word, now knowing that it's genetically modified.
Like every piece of fruit and vegetable, you're like, is it good? Is this going to be good in my body?
Right.
How's this going to go? Like a lot of the headed cabbages, it looks like it has a white coating on it, or like cherries, grapes, the white coating on it. You have the families that have to buy cheaper and things like that because organic is more expensive.
Yes,
Sure.
organic is really expensive. It makes it almost really hard. That's why I'm growing a garden.
It's a pay-to-play thing.
Yes.
You have to pay for the certifications, even if you can be or operate an organic farm, but if you don't pay for the certification, you can't have it labeled that.
So I guess GMO, is it always like modified with like chemicals?
It's typically some type of a biological modification. So either chemicals or biological splicing. Something technology has actually genetically modified.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be bad chemicals.
It could be genes. It could be stronger genes.
Okay.
Like I think they do that with I don't know the right word, but when you have a surrogate child, not surrogate child, but when you it's the right term for it, you pick certain genes to make make a stronger baby.
Right.
Again, I'm really not an
He's
expert
like,
in that.
man, I'm trying here.
I'm getting out over my skis on this, but
That comes into play with like a lot of the seedless fruits and vegetables, like what you have to do to get that, so that it might still be good, but it's just missing the seeds. They
Right.
just hybrid
Frankenfruit.
that-
Okay.
seedless watermelon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watermelons were not designed to be seedless.
No.
No. In fact, I bought one recently that was seedless, and it was indeed not seedless.
Little,
like,
little white
it was in
seeds.
the wrong area.
You didn't sue for false advertising?
I should have.
Well, I grew up in Hermiston, and so all watermelons had seeds. You needed the seeds to create more watermelons.
Right. I grew up thinking that if you ate the seeds, then the watermelons would grow in your belly.
My kids
Growing up, I was always told that.
It doesn't work.
I was terrified to eat seeds, and when I did, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to blow up like a watermelon.
Good thing
we
they're
got
not
off
from
track.
the ocean.
That's another thing that plays in with a lot of the seedless fruits and vegetables. They're doing that on purpose. They don't really want you to take those seeds to grow from.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
So
Watched a
they-
lot
thought
of
about
videos
that.
on
Then they can control the entire food
Oh,
chain.
Yes.
wow.
Yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
a lot of farmers, their seeds have to be registered with the government when they're growing.
Oh,
And if you
interesting.
grow outside of that, you'll get fined.
Yeah, or sued by Monsanto
Yes.
if theirs happens to blow into your farm, and then yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Which is part of this 100% organic you're talking about is you paid for your field to be 100% organic, but the neighbor's field
Is not.
is not.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so they may have organic, but it's not 100% organic because they didn't pay to get the certification.
Right. Oh, okay.
So,
I see.
yeah, it's definitely a twisted web that we have created when it comes to food certification.
Yeah.
But I think the
Sounds
bigger
like
thing
it.
is with this was awareness of what you're getting when you're going out there to buy food and what this food actually is.
Right.
There are other ways to control insects inside of your garden, and Mike brought a very interesting example of one: ladybugs.
The ladybugs. Yeah, ladybugs.
So did you know that ladybugs are actually good for your garden?
I've heard that they are, yes. Mm-hmm.
So how are ladybugs good for the garden, Mike?
They eat aphids, and aphids will eat your plants, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was reading where one ladybug can eat up to 2,500 aphids in its lifetime.
That's insane.
That's a lot of aphids.
So how long does
Yeah.
a ladybug live for?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I'd have to do math.
I'm gonna
as
look it up
said,
really quick.
It said, what did it say? It said it could eat a certain amount a day, and then divide that by 2,500. So
Yeah.
whatever that is.
So adult ladybugs are capable of killing up to 60 aphids a day.
There you
Several
go.
months up to a year.
There you go.
For a
So that's a
ladybug.
lot of aphids a day that they
Yeah.
eat.
Wow.
A lot.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And they're beetles, by the way.
They are.
They're not bugs. They're beetles.
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's ones that look like they're green and they're called cucumber ladybug things, I think. Don't quote me on that. But they're really bad. I think that they're the
Those
green
the bad
ones.
ladybugs?
And they're not good. Yeah. They're
And
not.
then there's the orange Mexican. I read this. I sound like some kind of expert. Not. The Mexican bean beetle is responsible for hurting a lot of crops.
Yeah. Same with the green one.
And they're orange.
Oh, okay.
They're
See,
orange.
I
If
didn't
you
know
see an
that.
orange back one,
So you want the
that might
red
not be
ones with
good.
the black
Yeah,
dots on them.
red.
For
You know,
sure.
on the
Okay.
right
Yeah.
side of the color spectrum there.
And I don't know if there's good orange back ones. I don't know. You have to do your own research.
There's an awful lot of information on ladybugs that we didn't know
Yeah,
before. You
yeah.
did through.
You're welcome.
That's just too funny. Well, I think the big thing that I want to bring out of this is that GMO is a phrase that's heard a lot. What exactly is it? What does it mean? Well, it means it's genetically modified organisms. Is that good or bad? It could be either direction. I think
Right.
we've got to have a
It's
whether-
kind of so vague, honestly.
It is very vague.
It's very vague.
I found a few good articles that I'll share with you guys, the links, and you guys can post them on the KSLM
Podcast. Okay.
website.
Yeah.
And then people can do some of their own research.
Yeah.
So those links will be showing up on the YouTube channel as well. So you can
Perfect.
go look those up as yourself. But I think that we just need to be aware of what GMO means and how it may or may not affect our bodies.
Yeah.
Could be good, could be bad. We don't know. Even Dr. Leaf, inside of her book, she just talks about this, that it could be a seed. We just don't know where it's going. We don't know what's going on with that seed.
Right.
But in the end, it's what goes in your body and how it works with your brain, how it controls all of your emotions and your health in a good way or in a bad way.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Are you more educated now on GMO than you were
A
before?
little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I guess it's genetically modified, so it just depends on if they're using chemicals, DNA. It's so vague and broad on what it could actually mean, but I am more educated on it.
Yeah.
But I still have, I probably have more questions now than I did before.
Yeah.
More
If that
questions
makes
and
sense.
more
Sure.
questions.
And then when you do your research, make sure to research the researchers.
Right.
And make sure that there's not an agenda there or,
Right.
Yeah. Make
Truly.
sure that you're
Well,
getting
and so
all
many
sides.
times the ones that are doing the research, who's paying them to do the research?
Right, to make it lean a certain way
What's the end
to
result of
favor
the research? Yeah.
You
whatever
mean
they're
the
wanting it
mice
to
watching
favor.
the cheese?
Exactly.
Do they do that?
I know.
In every industry?
Yeah. I mean, so often when you're looking at a study that's being done, who's paying for the study and what's the end result of that study going to be, and can you find a neutral party to do those studies? That's the real key, is find some neutral party to do the studies for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the first part. Really is kind of like on hybriding, modifications, plants, and how all that plays in together. During the second half of the show, I want to get more into what's going on with meat
Oh,
and how that is being altered a little bit in our society as well.
okay, perfect.
So
Then
that's-
I'll cue us out here with Mike from Oddmo's Pizza. Have you ever had Oddmo's Pizza?
I have several times.
Oh my gosh, what's your favorite?
Yeah. My favorite, my wife and I have one that we do order no matter where we go, and it's pepperoni, onion, and pineapple.
Okay.
It's
So you
a
gotta make your own
spicier version of the Hawaiian.
Yeah.
It's way better than the Canadian bacon.
Okay. I
Which
would
isn't
agree
Canadian
with
anyway.
you.
Or it's not bacon. It's one or the other.
Both. Both.
Both.
Okay, perfect. Well, my favorite is their green monster. It's got the artichoke hearts in it, and then I like to add chicken to it.
Is that
And-
white sauce?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes, it is.
White sauce.
Sounds like a white sauce.
And then
Yeah.
you add even like bacon crumbles to it. Game over.
Game over.
Game over. It is so good and so delicious and good for you with all of the healthy ingredients that are on top of it.
Yeah.
So delicious. Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.